Here we go. What's up, guys? How we doing? You know who I am. Mr. Trash Panda. Just kind of doing a little self-medicating. Full beer down. As I review the week that was. Why don't you share in my misery? Yeah. Here we go. Week 11. It's me, the Trash Panda, going up against Nailbender, my father-in-law. And I felt good about it. Headed into Monday, 8-point loss. Felt good about Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp. And it was true. I mean, Robert Woods was a better wide receiver than Cooper Kupp, but not enough for me to get the victory. I lose 139 to 134. Second week in a row, heartbreaking Monday night tragedy for Mr. Trash Panda. Man, I can't catch a break. Whatever. Donald Trump going up against Beans and Franks. Beans and Franks, roller coaster point scoring, strikes again, has a great week, 144.3, looks great, but not better than Donald Trump. You know him, you hate him, but all he does is win, unless it's the election of 2020. 168.7 to 144. He continues to steamroll the entire league. I feel sorry for anybody playing against him, but I also know he's beatable. And the people he's most susceptible to, the people in his division. So, good luck, you guys. Somebody with some vested interest in the well-being or not so well-being of Donald Trump is Dr. Feelgood. In which he'd much rather see Donald Trump not do well, which is kind of anti-doctorish if you think about it, but whatever. We all know what that song's actually about. Taking on Foosball the Devil, he drops the game, taking a 1-point backseat to Donald Trump into a tie for second place in Trumptown. Dr. Feelgood, 111. Foosball, 133. Foosball hits another 100% efficiency rating this week. He guessed right across the board. He's done that a couple times this year. He is tuned in to his roster. He knows who to start, who not to start. But that's what happens when you don't ever trade because you think your players are worth gold. And but he drafted well this year. Good on him. Caitlyn Jenner and Bad News Beers. Caitlyn Jenner was giving me shit all week, questioning my leadership of the league as the co-commissioner and chastising me about his freedom and all this other mumbo jumbo. And in the end, he still does me a favor, gets the W, beats Bad News Beers by a score of 168 to 139. And once again, I fail to capitalize on a chance to sneak my way into the playoffs over Bad News Beers. We all know who the better team is. It's luck. Luck is the factor here. But yeah, Caitlyn Jenner comes out on top. She is fighting for that division crown. Pretty much a lock for the playoffs at this point. But I'm rooting for you the rest of the way at this point. I mean, you're forcing me to try and be a better leader by chastising me and giving me shit for my choices. I mean, you're raising me up, making me better. I support you. Caitlyn Jenner, 2020. That's my stance. Woke Bison. Most people turn in the towel once they get told that they're out of the playoffs. But Woke Bison, he's a different man. He has picked up 2 more wins in 2 weeks since being told that there was nothing left for him to fight for. He's playing for respect, and he is demanding it. He even messaged me on the league chat, calling me out, telling me I was next on his list. He is collecting debt. Yeah, he's fighting for that respect, and I love it. I think that's awesome. Goes from the 143 point to a nice consistent level at 137 this week, beating out Spencer Strasmore, who only scored 120. I'm just going to tell you, Strasmore needs to go back to the gym. His pecs are looking a little flat these days because his team is falling quickly out of the playoff hunt. He still has a chance. He's got to really kick it into gear, though. And in the meantime, Woke Bison, he's trying to play spoiler. I tell you what, he doesn't care what's happening at this point. He just wants to cause as much chaos as he can. And, well, I can only hope that I cut him off at the knees to this week, but I'll give him back his legs just in time to beat Bad News Beers the final week. But yeah, man, I am super proud of the way that you have come on strong these last couple weeks. And speaking of people who have come on strong, my Balzac. I didn't even plan that shit, people. It just happens. Balzac and Blue Team, which we could call this the Blue Ball Bowl if we wanted to. Blue Team pulls out the 140 to 111 win. He is the only threat to foosball right now in his division. The other two are mathematically eliminated, which I'll get to a little bit later. But yeah, he stands as the only threat to foosball. And so I inherently am rooting on Blue Team to finish out the season strong and hopefully take that division crown. And Balzac, you're still tied with me in the division, and you still have a chance for the playoffs. So just keep on fighting, bro. You are trying. You are digging deep, and I really appreciate that, dude. Headed into the division standings. Trumptown, Donald Trump holding that 1-point lead. Dr. Feelgood, since he dropped one, falls out of a share for first place and is now sitting at 1 game back, 7-4. Caitlyn Jenner also 7-4 off a 2-game winning streak. I'm pretty sure Jenner and Trump face each other this week, which I'll get to a little bit later. So that division race is still very much up to grabs. Up for grabs, not to grab. Although, I mean, if it's there, why not? Bidenville, Bad News Beers, holds a 2-point lead at 6-5. He's on a 2-game losing streak. No one's been able to capitalize. And by no one, I mean me or Balzac. I'm on a 4-game losing streak, which coincides with not having Chris Carson for 4 weeks. That crippled me more than I realized it would. But there's still a chance. I'll be rooting hard for Balzac this weekend. And, I mean, sorry, Bison. I have to give you a loss. I have to. Libertarian Shanty, foosball, just stay surviving. Sitting there at first place. 1 game back is Blue Team. You got it, dude. I mean, you're 3-1 in the division, so you have the division standings locked up. You just got to get that overall record up, and you will be in it to win it. Yeah, I'm rooting for you, dude. So, headed into week 12, me versus Woke Bison. I've already talked about it. Dr. Feelgood and Spencer Strasmore. Dr. Feelgood is fighting for a chance at a tie for first place. Strasmore is fighting for his playoff hopes. That's going to be a really big game. It's already got a really close point differential at 0.7 points, so it's a toss-up game. Spencer Strasmore, though, you've been slipping up. This is your rebound week. You have to rebound here. Donald Trump and Caitlyn Jenner play each other this week, and this is for potentially a tie for first place for Caitlyn Jenner if she can pull off the win. Donald Trump is fighting for his dominance in first place of Trump Town. So you should look at this as a must win for Caitlyn Jenner at this point. If she loses this game, she falls 2 games back, which would be insurmountable at that point, but she'd have a wild card spot. So it's not a must win, but I mean, it'd be nice to knock off the champ before he heads to the playoffs, kind of stop that train a little bit. And then Balzac and Beers, they go up against each other. This is a must win for Balzac. His only shot at the playoffs period come this week against Bad News Beers. And Bad News Beers is fighting to secure the bid and the division crown of Bidenville, which I hate the name, but he is the president, so I can't really complain too much. Foosball and Nailbender. Again, Nailbender, he's fighting for respect at this point, fighting to cause chaos. I mean, he got the win last week, the unlikely win, the make me pull my hair out because this is bullshit win. So I hope he carries it on. I hope he takes out another stalwart by taking out Foosball this week. And then to finish it out, Beans and Franks versus Blue Team. Beans and Franks fighting for respect as well. There's nothing else he can do. Blue Team fighting for at least, well, at most, a share for first place. At least keeping himself a game back. And because of the way that sets up, if they both win, or if by some crazy chance Blue Team wins and Foosball loses, it is literally a fight for the playoffs. Next week for the Libertarian Shanty is a fight for the playoffs between Blue Team and Foosball. It's going to be crazy, but that's looking too far ahead. Yeah, so still a lot to play for a lot of teams. Of our 12, 9 still have a chance at the playoffs. So get those lineups set, hit the waiver wire, get yourself ready. And also, we are at 11 members voting in the required polls. I don't know who that straggler is, but whoever it is, please, please, please get it done. You have until about 10 or 15 minutes before kickoff of the Thursday games. Actually, Thursday's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. So it's actually going to be about 15 minutes before whatever the late game is. 7 o'clock Pacific. Central. Jesus tits. Where do I live? Seven o'clock Central Time. That's 8 o'clock Eastern if you're in the Eastern Time Zone. That is 6 o'clock Mountain Time if you're in the mountains, and the Rockies, obviously. And that is 5 o'clock Pacific Time if you are one of those bros living in Cali or one of those heroin addicts living in Oregon. So vote before that time. For those of you, Caitlyn, that have been kind of giving me a little bit of flack for shutting down your ability to set your lineups, listen, my ultimate goal when all is said and done is that I have 12 owners who interact with each other, that if I put a poll out, I don't have to make that poll required. I can make it voluntary and all 12 people will vote. That's my ultimate goal. I'm not getting that this year, putting it simply. I mean, you can look at multiple people that are a little suspect on whether or not they even notice this outside of setting their lineups. So, getting yourself a good league record and being competitive is going to keep you around this year. But I'm hoping we can be really picky in the future and really select people that we feel like understand the purpose of this league and the involvement and the participation that we want. So if you can't sacrifice 3 polls that take 10 seconds max right now, are you really, how invested in this are you? I want you to be fully in because I want this to be the league that you play in every year, for a long time, for the foreseeable future. Everybody that's here this year, for the most part, is probably going to be welcome back next year. And I don't know, maybe we get a little bit more picky next year. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, but I want this to be a league that you guys want to be in for a long period of time. And the best way to do that is to communicate what you want and be good leaders and take it all into consideration and adjust and move forward and make sure that everybody's happy with what we do every fall. So thank you to everybody that voted. Thank you for everybody again for just doing this season. I say it every week, but seriously, this has been awesome. This has been an amazing experience. I've loved it. So thank you. And I hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I hope that it is spent with laughs and love and family and great football, I guess, is kind of mandatory here for fantasy football. But yeah, so thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for taking a chance. Thank you for enjoying this season. And I'm going to say it all again next week in the Week 12 review. Peace out. Good luck.